Hey Void, how you doing? Been a little while again, but I'm still working on my backlog. Haven't been adding to it as much recently. Thank you, Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Been consuming my life. I would say slowly, but it's not even that slowly. I'm putting a lot of hours in on that. But, so, got quite a few things to get through, so let's keep moving. And The Feed. If you haven't heard of this one, not surprised. No one's heard of this movie. I just picked it up on a lark at some used DVD shop. I don't even remember where. I don't even remember when. This one's a 2012 film, and it's essentially one of those found footage style haunting features. Though this one didn't gain as much traction as something like Hell House LLC or okay, what was the other one? Grave Encounters. I think that was it. Anyway, but it's kind of in that vein, and I can see why this one didn't take off as much. It's got a few flaws stacked against it, but for the most part, I actually did enjoy it. So this one is about essentially it's done as if it was a live broadcast of a TV series. They actually have like fake commercials put in for like the thing, and then they'll kind of go while you were back. Essentially, it's Ghost Chasers is their show, and they're essentially doing this. Their next one's going to be at what's called the Brandway movie theater. Essentially, they get sent these kind of supernatural things, and they see if it's worth investigating. And they find one they think is a little bit more legitimate because the video that was sent in has a strange happening, but they noticed something that they didn't point out, which was essentially a terrifying, like a ghost in a reflection that when the people sent it in, we're just talking about this kind of mysterious thing on the stairs. So they go and have a psychic come in, they go in, they start investigating, and, well, things start going wrong. So, it is fairly standard. There's dark history to the movie theater, but they put it together pretty well overall. My only complaints are two-found. Now, usually these ones have pretty bad acting. Not really the case here. It's fine. With the exception of maybe the fake commercials, the acting on those is bad, but in a way that it's like, you could believe this on like a public broadcast commercial thing. So, I'm going to be a little lenient there. For the most part, the acting actually is fine, and you kind of are with how the characters are playing off of each other. And their charisma isn't the greatest, but it's decent, which is all you can really expect from this. So, two things. First, when they only do one thing of CG, and it is dodgy as hell. It's essentially the image they use right here on the cover, except for it looks even worse in the movie. Like, oh wow, is it a bad CG effect? Up until then, it was actually decently suspenseful until they throw that at you, and it's like, yeah. But, considering it's a small independent film, it could be worse. And the fact that they were able to get some tension even up until that point, okay. This is actually the second time I've seen this movie, so I was aware about that going in. So that did kind of, knowing it was coming did kind of take the edge off that scene. But I did remember liking this enough the first time, so, and I'm still kind of sticking with that. It's not great, but I did have a little bit of a soft spot for The Feed. It's just called The Feed, by the way, just because it's like, they want to make sure, it's like a movie feed, like they don't want their feed to get cut off during their broadcast, that. Anyway, second problem, it is short. It is very short. So, once the beginning it builds up at a decent pace, and with the little commercials adding a few kind of thing for making it kind of a tongue-in-cheek actual show. But when things start happening, it it is ramping up slowly, ramps up to 1 to 2 to 3 to 4, but then it just jumps up to a 7 and then just goes right to the end. It's like, because this thing is only 73 minutes. Yeah. So, an hour and 10 minutes. It is, 13 if you're being technical. It's short. So, and you feel that at the end. It just dives for that climax. And because that the whole second hour, that second half of this feels rushed. Like, if they would have drawn out some things, it could have built up a lot more tension, or just picked off characters more slowly rather than just dropping the bomb right in the middle of everyone. So, yeah, it's a shame there. So, despite its flaws, I did find this one a little bit enjoyable for a independent, micro-budget film. It actually does a decent job at it, and the filmmakers here are definitely got some talent to them. So the feed, I'll give it 4 MacGuffins. It's not down into my bad category, but it is below average. But that's just because of its budget constraints, mostly, I'm imagining. So the feed, it's worth checking out if you're curious. I have no idea if this is streaming anywhere, because, like I said, I never heard of this till I just picked it up on a lark. And I don't know if it's easy to find it all, but if you like found footage horror films, this one doesn't really do too much in terms of shaky cams. It's like professional like ghost chasing cameras, and they're using a lot of static cams that they're jumping between, so that helps. So some of the motion sicknesses from some of the other ones doesn't really apply. But 4 MacGuffins. It is what it is. See you soon, boy.